This conversation is powered by Google Illuminate. Check out illuminate.google.com for more. Welcome to this discussion on Publication 559 from the IRS. It's a crucial document for anyone dealing with the estate of a deceased individual, and today we have an expert to help us navigate its complexities. This publication covers a lot of ground, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's a comprehensive guide covering everything from filing tax returns on behalf of the deceased to understanding the responsibilities of executors and administrators. Many people find themselves unexpectedly in this situation and are unsure where to turn.
Exactly. The sheer volume of information can be overwhelming. Let's start with the basics. Who exactly needs to use this publication?
Primarily, personal representatives, executors or administrators of an estate. These are the individuals legally responsible for managing the deceased's assets and settling their affairs. This includes handling the tax obligations.
So it's not just for grieving families, but for those tasked with the legal and financial responsibilities of the estate?
Precisely. Publication 559 outlines the tax responsibilities of the executor or administrator. This includes filing the final income tax return for the deceased and paying any taxes owed from the estate's assets.
And what if the deceased had significant assets? Does that change the process?
The complexity increases with the size and nature of the estate's assets. Real estate, stocks, businesses, these all have different tax implications that need careful consideration. The publication provides guidance on how to value these assets for tax purposes.
So proper valuation is key to accurate tax reporting.
Absolutely. Incorrect valuation can lead to significant penalties. The IRS expects accurate reporting, and Publication 559 provides the framework for achieving that.
Let's talk about filing the return itself. What forms are typically involved?
The primary form is usually Form 1040, the standard individual income tax return, but adapted for the deceased. Other forms might be necessary depending on the specifics of the estate, such as Form 706 for estate tax, if applicable.
And what about deadlines? Are they different for estate tax returns?
Yes, the deadlines vary. The final income tax return for the deceased generally follows the usual tax year deadlines, but estate tax returns have their own filing deadlines, often extending beyond the typical tax year. Publication 559 clearly lays out these deadlines.
So understanding those deadlines is critical to avoid penalties.
Absolutely. Missing deadlines can result in significant penalties and interest charges.
The publication mentions several related forms. Could you highlight a few key ones?
Certainly. Form 706, the United States Estate and Generation Skipping Transfer Tax Return, is crucial for estates exceeding a certain value. Form 1041, the U.S. Income Tax Return for Estates and Trusts, might be needed in certain situations. And Form 56, Notice Concerning Fiduciary Relationship, is important for informing the IRS of the executor's or administrator's role.
So it's not just one form, but potentially a combination depending on the circumstances?
Exactly. Publication 559 helps determine which forms are necessary for a given situation.
The IRS website also links to other helpful publications. Are there any you'd recommend?
Yes. Publication 3, the Armed Forces Tax Guide, is relevant if the deceased was in the military. Publication 334, the Tax Guide for Small Business, is helpful if the deceased owned a business. And Publication 501, Exemptions, Standard Deduction, and Filing Information, provides general tax information that can be useful in this context.
So a network of resources, not just one isolated document.
Precisely. The IRS provides a comprehensive suite of resources to assist those navigating the complexities of estate tax.
The language in tax documents can be quite technical. What advice would you give someone trying to understand Publication 559?
Take your time. Read it carefully, section by section. Don't hesitate to look up unfamiliar terms. And if you're still unsure, seek professional help from a tax advisor.
So professional help is always an option if needed.
Absolutely. Given the potential financial implications, seeking professional guidance is often a wise investment.
Are there any common mistakes people make when dealing with estate taxes?
One common mistake is missing deadlines. Another is incorrectly valuing assets. And a third is failing to understand the nuances of different types of income and deductions within the estate.
So attention to detail is paramount.
Absolutely. Accuracy and timeliness are crucial to avoid penalties.
You mentioned seeking professional help. When is that particularly important?
It's advisable whenever there's uncertainty or complexity. Large estates, complex assets, or unfamiliar tax laws all warrant professional assistance.
So it's not just about saving money, but about avoiding costly mistakes.
Exactly. The cost of professional help is often far outweighed by the potential cost of errors.
The publication is available in PDF, HTML, and EPB formats. What are the advantages of these different formats?
PDF is great for printing and archiving. HTML is convenient for online viewing. EPE is ideal for reading on e-readers. The choice depends on personal preference and access to technology.
So accessibility is a priority for the IRS.
Yes, they strive to make this information accessible to everyone.
How often is publication 559 updated?
It's updated periodically to reflect changes in tax laws and regulations. It's crucial to always use the most current version.
So checking for updates is a good practice?
Absolutely. The IRS website is the best place to find the most up-to-date version.
What's your final piece of advice for someone navigating this process?
Be organized, be thorough, and don't hesitate to seek professional help when needed. The emotional toll of dealing with a loss can be significant, and having the right support can make a huge difference.
This is about managing both the emotional and the logistical aspects.
Precisely. It's a challenging time, and having a clear plan and the right resources can ease the burden.
And where can listeners find Publication 559 and other related resources?
The IRS website, irs.gov, is the best place to start. They have a comprehensive search function that can help you find the specific information you need.
That was a great discussion. Thank you for sharing your expertise and providing such clear and helpful guidance.